6G networks. Remember when 180 scientists from 36 countries wrote to the European Union demanding that they stop the rollout of 5G because of massive health concerns? Remember how they warned governments that we absolutely should not deploy this technology until we studied the long-term effects on human beings? Well, let me read it for you. We, the undersigned scientists, recommend a moratorium on the rollout of the 5th generation 5G until potential hazards for human health and the environment have been fully investigated by scientists independent from industry. 5G will substantially increase exposure to radio frequency like electromagnetic fields, RF, EMF, and has been proven to be harmful for humans and the environment. Yeah, well, they blew right past that. They didn't give a hoot about it. They ignored the scientists. They rolled it out anyway. And now, without addressing one single of those concerns, they're preparing to unleash something far more powerful, far more invasive, and potentially far more dangerous, 6G. So here today, I wanted to break down exactly what this technology is, how it works, why governments and corporations are racing to deploy it right now, and why, once again, experts and scientists are sounding the alarm about its risks, from cybersecurity to surveillance to national security to human health. Like across the board, they're criticizing this. Because once you understand what 6G actually does, you'll understand why this isn't just like another tech upgrade, like some guy up on a tower just like upgrading a transformer. It will be a transformation of human life and possibly a threat to it, in the very same way that mRNA vaccines changed millions of lives. So what is 6G exactly? So let's start with some of the basics. 6G is the 6th generation of the cellular network technology, the thing that's supposed to replace 5G. Of course, that's the obvious part. But unlike previous upgrades, the jump from 5G to 6G is actually massive. 6G will operate on frequencies far higher than anything used today. It's extremely tight. It's like laser-like beams of energy that can deliver unimaginable data speeds, near zero latency. Now, I've spoken to sources who've worked for these companies, and they've told me their business plan is to basically eliminate your need for Wi-Fi in your home. Like, you won't need to call up Comcast. You won't need to call up any other providers because 6G will just be all around you. Why would you pay for Comcast? It's going to be super fast, so no need to get Xfinity in your home. No need to have a router in your home. That's the plan. I've seen the documents, and I've talked to the techs who are actually building this out. So here's the major difference, though, between 5G and 6G. 6G will be AI native, of course. So everything's AI, right? Artificial intelligence won't be just an add-on. It will be built into the network at every level. The system will make real-time decisions. It'll reroute traffic. It'll identify patterns. And by the way, it'll self-heal itself without a single human being even being involved in it. Skynet, I guess, right? So this network becomes autonomous. So in other words, this is the first time in history that we are creating a communication system that actually thinks for itself and heals itself. So how does this 6G actually work? Well, let's break this down. 5G runs mostly on sub-G 6 gigahertz and some millimeter wave frequencies. 6G leaps into the terahertz spectrum, roughly 100 times faster than 5G. But those frequencies can't travel far. They get blocked by like cement walls and trees. Even humidity blocks it. Good luck, Florida. So how do you actually blanket an entire country or the entire planet with something that barely travels and humidity gets in the way? Well, the answer is both ingenious and actually pretty terrifying. They're using reconfigurable intelligence surfaces. These are walls, windows, street signs, and everyday objects that are turned into active components of the network, capable of redirecting wireless signals like mirrors. In fact, one of the techs I spoke to about this said, just imagine walking down the street and every stop sign you see, every telephone pole you see, or every other metal pole you see right outside of your apartment would have one of these like 6G components on it. In other words, the environment becomes the network, with massive antenna grids, thousands, even millions of synchronized micro antennas that can track and beam signals directly to you with extreme precision. And 6G doesn't just broadcast, it actually targets, it actually shapes like the signal around you. And then, by the way, it follows you wherever you go. It adjusts itself automatically based on your environment, your movement, and your behavior. This is why surveillance experts are sounding the alarm, as you can imagine. 6G isn't just about faster phones. It's about the creation of a constantly sensing, constantly tracking digital ecosystem. So more about this AI native part of it, because it's important. AI changes everything, and 6G will, number one, predict your movement, anticipate traffic flow, detect behavioral anomalies, like we've been covering this, right? Oh, this person's like antisocial. This person doesn't leave their house on a regular basis. We should flag that. Maybe he's a terrorist. It'll also enforce automated restrictions. It'll also integrate with that digital ID system, of course, and it'll make split-second decisions without any human oversight. So this becomes the nervous system of like a hyper-connected society. Every camera, every sensor, every vehicle, every appliance in your home, every wearable, like every medical device, all feeding data into a single unified intelligent network. So 6G isn't just faster. It's aware of everything that you're doing. And that raises some serious concerns. So when will 6G actually arrive? Well, right now, 6G is in research and development. Tests began back in 2020. Prototypes are already being deployed worldwide. Most experts predict, though, a full commercial launch by the year 2030. So just 5 years away. But here's the truth. You're already being exposed to early versions of this technology. And the dangers aren't hypothetical. They're actually happening right now. Let's look at 3 of the biggest risks according to early data. Take a look at this. They kind of broke this down in this piece. Number 1, data privacy basically collapses. So 6G will connect billions more devices than 5G ever could. That means your location, your biometrics, your shopping habits, your health data, your household devices, your movement patterns, all of it being tracked in real time and all analyzed by AI, and then all stored somewhere that you'll never see. This is like surveillance capitalism on steroids. So when you see this new network you're opting into, you get zero privacy. Number 2, nation-state cyber warfare. With 6G, cyber warfare shifts from hacking computers to disabling entire societies. Think about it. Hospitals, power grids, financial systems, transportation networks, military operations, everything becomes a target. And then with those terahertz speeds, attacks happen faster than humans can even respond to it. And then number 3, government abuse, because the government never abuses us, right? But this is all going to be part of it. This is the most predictable threat of all, of course. With 6G, governments could have real-time citizen tracking, which is what they want. They want behavioral mapping, which is what they're rolling out right now in Gaza, as we covered here on the show with Palantir. They have automated law enforcement, pre-crime detection, like, oh, Clayton hasn't left the house in a few days. Maybe he's plotting a terrorist act or something. Social credit score? You know, you've traveled too much and your carbon footprint is too much, so we don't think you should be allowed to buy gasoline for the next month because you traveled too much to see grandma 4 hours away. And then it'll also have a seamless digital ID enforcement, all of it. This is the next level of control, and this network makes this possible, and it's frankly unprecedented. Look at this new article from CNET just published, which experts warn that 6G will blur the line between private life and public monitoring. So every device, every room, every street, every building, all part of like one enormous sensing network that never turns off. This isn't just connectivity, it's environmental surveillance. I guess we all need to move to like Montana or the woods of Wyoming at this point. Because once the system is deployed, there's no opting out. Like even if you don't have a 6G phone, it doesn't matter. You'll be walking right through this network every day. Again, unless you live, I guess, in remote Alaska or Wyoming, where they don't even have cell phone service. Now, here's where it gets even more suspicious, though, because the World Health Organization has not updated its position since 2011, before 5G even existed, let